good bits for this lore, and I want my lore.
Those weren't bits. Those were
Whatever
not
they
bits.
are.
Whatever.
What are they? Channel points.
Channel
Channel
points.
Channel points. Sorry.
Okay. So here it is. So we in this game are refugees from a place called the Old Kingdoms, which is to the south of where we are. Basically, what happened in the Old Kingdoms was there was this mysterious substance that had sort of been a subject of like childhood rumor, fairy tales and myths and whatever, called Ember, that nobody really had seen forever and ever. It was just sort of thought to be an old wives' tale kind of thing. And then somebody found it. And when it was also, part of the myth was that it could do miraculous things. Gives you miraculous powers to do things. So when it was found, there was this sort of, everybody wanted it. Kings and queens and powerful people of the lands and whatever. War broke out as a result. So there was this big refugees started fleeing because war was happening. So in doing so, we had to go north. And the only way, you had to go through the Darklands if you went north. And the Darklands are this place where it's sort of been rumored that people go in and they lose their minds and they just don't come out, or they come out in a completely different state. And we did it. We crossed the Darklands and we actually made it here without losing ourselves. There's something when you first log into the game, there's a bard standing there. And there's something to do with that bard being involved, because I've found some later lore in the game actually that talks about that a little bit. That drew you through the Darklands, that brought you through by hearing the bard's voice. And so we're in a place called New Haven Valley right now. And if we go a little further north, we'll find the city of New Haven. And in New Haven, there's like 3 main factions. 4, actually, sorry. The Rangers, the Consortium, the Academy, and the Circle. And when we get to the city, when we level up a little more, we get to the city, I'll tell you more about those factions. But that's basically the setup for this game. That's our sort of where we are in the world.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
Thank you. There you go.
Mm-hmm. When I went into the city, when I've been playing off stream or whatever, and I've gone into the city, the NPCs are really cool. They actually talk to you and they tell you all kinds of stuff. Even if they don't have a quest for you, you can ask them questions. They give you all kinds of detail. And it's like, if you're into the lore of this game, you can just do it for the sake of it, right? And that's something that actually made me think of Pantheon a lot, because there was a time when the lore and the perception system were very disconnected from every other system in the game. They've changed that a little bit now. They've sort of updated that. I've been very impressed with like how the lore is sort of being presented in this game. Even if it's not the deepest, richest thing ever, it's, at least as far as we know yet, I found it quite engrossing.
And not only that, when you talk to NPCs like that, because I've done some of the same thing Therek is talking about, you tend to get them talking like from their perspective. So you learn about the world as, a consortium member or a guard or whoever it is you're talking about would view it, and their input on their sphere of how they interact with the world. So it's not just like, here is a lore dump.
It's totally right.
Here's talking to somebody who lives in the world, and they're going to give you their view from what they'd be doing.
That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. And that's one of the things, like, just having watched the finale of House of the Dragon, I'm now, looking at like George R.R. Martin's works in Game of Thrones, and he writes mostly, not House of the Dragon, Blood and Fire, but the other novels are all perspective novels, right? Each chapter is a perspective from a character. I think it's one of the things I love the most about that style of writing, and this game kind of does that.
Dude, Therek, you brought my respect level up a bit. I didn't know these things, and I didn't realize, because I'm a piece of crap MMO player who just talks to people who have quests only. So I've got to feel bad for not even knowing that. I'm that trashy MMO player. People are like, talk to him, he has a quest. I'm like, okay.
You know what though? Nathan and I, we appreciate the lore when we get it though. Like,
yeah, I do.
A good MMO can support all that scale of players and their level of interaction with the game.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's brings me as much joy to bring that to you as it does for me to learn it myself, right? Like, I love that. I love being able to do that. Like, that's cool.
So cool. Yeah.
I'm totally not going to read the lore, but I will totally watch lore videos